let's talk about like what ElDirtySquirrel is about, what people can expect from you if they were to tune into your Twitch channel or your content.
Sure, sure. So our show is different, man. It's I'm animated now. I didn't used to be that way, but from the beginning, the show was always like I want it to feel like Mystery Science Theater with video games, right? So you come in, you get a little bit of gags and jokes, and we talk, and then we switch to the game. We'll go back to the game, and then we'll switch back for a little talk. And if somebody's subscribed, we'll talk to them, and yada yada. So it's just a fun, interactive channel, and that's what I pride myself on. In special effects, I guess everybody's always like, your effects are always so awesome.
Yeah.
And so I I never sit and think about it, but I pride myself on going the extra mile and putting in some details, you know?
I would second the thoughts on the effects. I love all the cool little things you do. It's that attention to detail that really shows through, especially like with your background there, the ship. I love
Yeah.
I love it so much.
Thank you.
Yeah, and
The hula girl's next to me too. Did you see the hula girl? You can touch her for a channel point redemption, see? She shakes, but don't touch her.
before we were recording, you did refer to your show essentially as a cartoon. What made you? What I mean, with the inspiration of Mystery Science Theater, and then wanting it to be more of a cartoon, like what kind of brought you like to that whole concept?
Man, so let's start from the beginning. So like I've been on Twitch for 8 years. And it wasn't long when I started streaming that I was like, I want to do something unique.
Mm-hmm.
And so I started dressing up like a squirrel.
Yep.
So I was I was wearing squirrel ears, and I had a tail, and we danced around. And I think to some people that was funny and different, but to other people they were just kind of weirded out. Like it wasn't your Dr. Disrespect. The term furry got thrown out a lot.
Mm.
And there's nothing wrong with furries, but I wasn't into that scene. I was just trying to, you know, I was trying to give a whole vibe off.
Yeah.
And I think the problem was I didn't go in 100%. If you
Right.
go in 100%, it probably would have worked out. But there's always this there's divide between Twitch and the viewers, and they're like, they're asking about your personal life or stuff that's going on. There's there's that fourth wall that I was constantly breaking. So, the cartoon thing happened recently, I think in the last year. That was a big change, but it just because I could do so much more being animated. There was two reasons, right? Like I can now do and I can also do like hypno squirrel or like whatever. Like my hips move around and we'll break. Oh, see, like I can do that, and it's crazy. And I just got punched. The other reason was because I moved to Texas. I call it Space Texas when I'm not breaking the fourth wall, but I moved to Texas and it's super hot. Right. And I got 2 PCs rolling. I got 3 monitors. I was dying, man. I was dying in a suit.
Yeah.
And a tail and ears. I was dead every time. And the bandana around my head, I had headaches every time. Every stream, I had a headache, and I kept doing it just because.
I remember those times. It was literally in the jumpsuit that your character is.
Yeah, no, yeah, exactly like this.
Yeah, and so I could see how that would get freaking hot. Yeah, just like that.
Yeah, I was in the whole jumpsuit. This was me. It wasn't a cartoon.
Right. So yeah, you were in this jumpsuit. You were dressed. You had the ears and the tail going, and you're dancing around. And I could see that being incredibly rough, especially like you said, once you moved to Texas, being in a room that's already probably going to be hot with all the equipment, but then you're dressed up like that. I would not last nearly as long as you did. So
yeah, we went for a long time. Well, and for those who didn't know, before then I was in Boston, so like it was totally fine.
Really quick, as we continue to talk about what you were doing to get it as you got into this and changed over to the VTuber side, Mr. Zaris in chat asks, do you as a person and a content creator, do you feel the leap to animated PNG VTuber makes you feel more secure and safer in creating and also in the creator space?
So I've never felt unsafe. As a white male, I think I'm like, not the person likely to be attacked, you know?
Right.
But yeah, people said, "Did you become a VTuber? Did you do that because so now you can feel more comfortable?" And I've always felt comfortable, even with the camera on. So
Mm.
in terms of like emotionally or anything, like it wasn't like I woke up and was like, "Man, I don't want to be on camera today." But totally, I could be animated, you know, and then I could. Yeah, I've always felt I could have the camera on. That wasn't part of my motivation to be cartoon. It literally was the heat. The heat and the creativity, like the stuff that I can do, you know. But as far as safety on this platform, I just feel like I'm not very targeted, and I
Hmm.
don't usually put up with much. So
Yeah.
I feel safe usually on this platform. I Do you fill out the questionnaires that Twitch sends you and stuff?
Yeah. Yeah.
And they always ask you, do you feel safe? Like, do you like on a 0 to 10 scale? Do you feel? I'm like, I don't know. I feel safe, I guess. Like, I've
You're
never
like
had anything bad happen.
you're like, I feel fine. I'm good.
Yeah, I'm good.
Yeah.
Thanks for asking.
I
Do you feel safe on the platform?
do I?
Yeah.
That's a good question. I've had being a Asian American, I've
Sure.
been I've had people in the chat be particularly unkind, simply
That
because
sucks.
of how I look. So, uh, there were times where I did not feel as safe. I feel
I
more
got you.
safe now,
No, I
but yeah,
100%
yeah,
understand that, and that sucks, man. I mean, I hate to hear that, but like I said, you know, I don't know. I haven't felt it yet, so I'm sure some
yeah,
and stuff rolls off of me. So like, if somebody were like, "You's ugly," I'd be like, "I don't care.
right.
I know it. I am ugly."
Yeah, I mean, for me, I'm a big normally I am not afraid to like call those people out and then ban them.
Yeah.
So it's like,
Oh yeah. So I have a
yeah,
zero toleration. Like, I ban anybody says anything, I just ban and move on, and then I don't mention it. That's the best part,
yep.
because I know that they're in their mother's basement crying because they didn't get a reaction out of me.
Right, and that's the thing, they want the reaction. So I do
Yeah.
my best to not give it to them. Um and then I just move on. I hit the ban button or block or whatever or report
Yeah.
depending on what it is, and then I move on. And then try not to give them the reaction that they're going for, right? And so I do my
Yeah.
best to like leave that stuff. And
I
generally
ha
that's part of why I feel safer is cuz I know that cuz I've been in America all my life.
Yeah.
I've had a lot of racist things said to me, and yeah, I've learned to live my life to. It's unfortunate and it sucks, but
Of course, yeah.
I just don't let those people get a rise out of me, and then
Yeah.
generally they leave me alone after that. So
Yeah, somebody tried to get me with a D's nuts joke, and I knew it already, so I called them out, and then they never said anything else, and I still think about this person to the day. I'm like, "What happened to
I
them? Are they
wonder how they're
still
doing.
upset, or did they just move on to the next channel and try again?" Like,
Yeah,
I
you can
ruined one of their jokes, I don't
you
know.
can guarantee that's what they did. Is they,
Yeah,
they moved
probably.
on and went to the next one.
Alright, I apologize for diving right into the real deep stuff early
No,
on. I
man,
know we were
no
talking
work.
creativity, and we went straight into
No, no,
racism, didn't we?
no. It's a record. We made it.
Quick
It was
transition,
it was,
yeah, right.
it was like 15 minutes. No, dude, it's totally fine.
Whew. Now
I'm
that's out of the way. We can talk about brown and gray squirrels now, you know,
yeah, yeah,
and
exactly.
how stupid the gray ones are.
You basically went for the cartoon look now because not out of safety, but more so it affords you creativity, of course, in addition to like dealing with the heat. But like
Yeah.
I imagined it was because knowing you and the conversations we had early on about our streams, you were all about like what can I do that's different and interesting.
Right.
And so when you went like full cartoon, I knew exactly like yeah, that tracks completely with what you were
Yeah.
doing.
Right. And it was probably like, why did he wait so long?
What did take you so long to get to that point?
I don't know. I think one of the speed bumps for that was I was on a team. Do you remember Scribbles?
Mhm. Yeah.
Scribbles was the first person to use this technology that I'm using and to stream on Twitch.
Mhm.
And then we formed a team around people who were doing creative things, not necessarily VTubers, because I wasn't at that point, but It was a couple of VTubers, a puppet, and it was just unique stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, man, I started to dabble in it. The program is called Character Animator. It's with Adobe.
Mm-hmm.
And I started dabbling in it, and I actually started using it, but I was using it for recording. So I was recording puppets and then using videos and OBS, and like I was still human. So I didn't want to ride on his coattails. And in fact, like if you look at Scribbles, my model is actually very similar to his and skinny and bendy like his was. It's kind of interesting.
Mm.
And that wasn't the idea, but it reminds me of him when I'm looking at myself sometimes.
So you wanted to kind of make sure that you were dabbling in it, and then you just kind of decided to go for it after some
Yeah,
time.
yeah. It was never a thought to be like, hey, I should go full on animated.
Mm-hmm.
And then so what happened was I made it a reward. So if I got 5 subs, I got turned into a cartoon, which was kind of cool. But what wasn't cool was I was still hot and I wasn't even on camera. So it was like I was burning both ends, I didn't really dive into the technology just because I was just using it on a one-off when I got 5 subs or something. So, and then so like it didn't have any dance. I could just move the arms or stretch the arms, but the technology's advanced so much that like I'm digging into so much stuff that you can do. Like just like when I get subs, like my ears wiggle. I've let control. Like what's cool about being animated is if you can think it up, you can make it happen. I was like, what if like there was a channel point to unzip my suit?
Yeah.
And people were like, like I couldn't do that IRL. I mean, I guess I could, but you would see me like unzip it. But in this instance, it
just does it.
It pops off. So yeah, I had to do it backwards but yeah, and then you zip it back up, and everybody's like, "Holy cow, you're one hairy squirrel." But and that's honestly that's one of the most recent things that we've created. But like my mind is swirling with ideas like this. What can we make? What can chat do?
Yeah.
And I think like one of the things we were thinking about was like a shock collar, because like you can't put a shock collar on you on Twitch IRL, but if you're a cartoon, you can. So
Right.
yeah, you can punch me, you can beat me up.
That's
Like if I get punched and I'm like, it's not a problem now. Like if you're a cartoon, it's animated violence.
Yeah. Yeah, it gives you
But
so
yeah,
much leeway to do random and fun things with it that
yeah,
you couldn't
literally,
get
yeah,
away
I
with.
literally can do anything. Yeah.
Random technical behind the scenes question. That's so
Yes.
like the stuff related to your model specifically, like when the jumpsuit gets unzipped, that's all automated when someone does a channel point
Yeah,
with
so
you?
it's a channel point command.
Yeah.
I'll do it right now. I'll do it so that everybody gets the view. Hold on.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, we can do it this way. I like to. You can use a channel point and then the channel point actually disappears until I hit the button to zip up. So it makes me actually press this button.
That's awesome. That's
Yeah,
really
and
cool.
it's a little off right now because I'm goofing around, but
Yeah.
also I guess
it.
I should, I wanted to break the fourth wall here and share that, I am actually a human being, and this is my avatar. This is my human controller right here. Handsome,
Yeah.
isn't he? Yeah, he's a good looking guy.
I love it, man.
Look at this room. This room is so blank and dull.
it's it's fun for me as someone who's known you for long enough before all this that
Yes.
I've already known what you've looked like, so it's not a big deal to me. But then, I have this headcanon of like you get followers who don't really know you or have
Right.
seen you behind the scenes, and that must be interesting for those people who have never seen you in that light. They're like, "Oh crap, that's."
Yeah. I know. Well, I've always I was like, man, I'm gonna stay in character, but you know what? I've been posting pictures of like when I go out or just selfies or whatever. I don't care anymore. So I've
Yeah.
been at it so long that I'm like, it didn't make a difference if I did it or not.
Yeah.
And I wasn't doing it again to be safe. I just thought I wanted people to, to be like, oh, it's the ElDirtySquirrel show. It's a cartoon squirrel in space. And they
Right.
don't think about, like when you think of The Simpsons, you don't think about the actor or the voice actor for Homer, like what he's doing, like you think about Homer.
Yeah.
And how he loves donuts and stuff. And that's how I want people to think of me. So
Yeah. Yeah.
I break through every now and then. And I thought I would for today. Today
Thank
only.
you. Yeah. No,
Yeah.
I appreciate it. I love the work that you've done with this character. it is still like even seeing because like this style of like creation, VTubing, PNG tubing, whatever you want to call it, it's gotten so much more sophisticated now that
Mm-hmm.
it's also more accessible. So we're starting to see more people do it. But I really, I like from someone who like you and we talk once in a great while, every couple months, to say hi. I pop in, we say hello. But like, it was really cool seeing your growth from your early days of being in a
Yeah.
jumpsuit with the squirrel ears and the tail dancing to like this full on animated character that you have. And I think it's awesome that you've taken it this far and that you have such a responsive character. The fact that like it's so polished.
Thank you. I and you've seen me. I don't do anything lately, so like even before I was cartoon, I found these ears that actually were animated, like you can move them,
Hmm.
and I found a way to link those up so that they were animatronic ears that would move when people subscribed.
Hmm.
And I thought that was like the coolest thing. I strived so hard to get that. So like when I knew I was going to go animated, I reached out to my friend Carly Cartoons, who's
Mm.
also a mod for my channel.
Yeah.
But they are an artist who have worked on things such as Rick and Morty. They worked on the new Beavis and Butthead and tons of other stuff. Tons and
Hmm.
tons. Super talented human being. And they're like, yeah, we could do something up. And I love that when we worked together, I was like, this is what I want. And they drew it up. And I was like, I had no edits. I was like, that's perfect. I was like,
That's
I
awesome.
changed a few colors and it was perfect. So like, and they have no idea how to use the program that I'm using. But it was nice. I could be like, look, just do it like this, this, and this. And they hooked me up and it couldn't have come out better. I think even Carly wants to reach out to her people and actually get me a TV show, but I don't know. They
I'd
were like,
love that.
it's so good, and I was
Yeah.
like, do it, let's do it.
Yeah.
Probably change the voice, get somebody with a better voice.
Yeah. No, this is wonderful, man. And the character is just done so well. So like huge props
Yeah,
to Carly for that. Because man,
yeah. Once I went animated, there was definitely a growth, like just a boom of new people who love it. And I'm getting like new people I wasn't getting new people every week, but I feel like now I'm getting new people every week who pop in and are like, holy what is this? This is awesome.
yeah,
And that almost is as good as a $4.99 sub. That compliment is just so good.
yeah.
It's just it's so good, but
And I was going to ask, yeah, how has that affected your channel? So it sounds like there's been a lot of growth around. Uh,
yeah.
yeah.
I feel like I didn't have anybody to connect to before. Like I said, we tried doing a team of weirdos, but there was nobody to connect to like that. And now that I'm a cartoon, all these other VTubers are like, man, your rig is awesome. Like we should do something together. Blah blah blah. You know, like
Mm,
just even meshing with my good friend Ouija Boo, and that was the first person I had on my show,
mm-hmm.
the Twitch hikers, and now we're like best friends. We talk almost every other day, and like our communities know each other. So it's been good, and I know I've been doing it for 8 years. And I'll say that I'm a full-time streamer because it's pretty much my income. But I recently got a second job, so streaming's almost taking a back seat for me. But
Mm-hmm.
I still love it, and I'll never quit it. But it's just like, the money is just not there anymore, and there's so many people trying to get into it that it's spread really thin unless you're at the top, you know?
Yeah, it's been tougher for sure. I think for a lot of streamers, like you said, that aren't at the very top, it's become
Oh
more
yeah,
difficult.
yeah. It's and I don't beat myself up, or I'm not beating the other, the smaller streamers
Right.
who are trying. It's just, it's tough. I try to like I'm a I'd like to say a smart person. Like I think about it all the time, and I'm like, if you wanted to make it on Twitch, you have to have around about like 1,000 subs, right? Like that makes your paycheck at least 2,500 a month, right?
Mm-hmm.
And that's barely anything, Matt. By the time you get to the end of the year and you do taxes and your health insurance and your car payment or house payment or rent, like it's tough out there right now. So
Yeah.
unless
It's
you're living at your mom's basement, like it's tough.
yeah,
Yeah, to
it
save some of that
definitely
money.
makes it incredibly difficult to be a full-time streamer and live off of that. that
Oh, for
income.
sure. And I think it used to be easier. You remember back in the day when there wasn't many people streaming, but I mean there wasn't many people watching either. So, but I don't know.
In all that time that you been streaming, what are some of the biggest things that you've noticed have changed over the years, either as a
Man.
streamer or as a Twitch as a platform? What are the things that you have noticed and think about?
Oh man, did I love Twitch so much when it was almost before Amazon or right when Amazon bought it? It was still okay. It had that cult feeling, and you know what I wanted more than anything else was that purple jacket.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's all I wanted. I was like, I want to get partner so I get that purple jacket. And you know, it's like a trophy that I made it. Then I got partner, and they took away the stupid purple jackets. They don't give them out anymore. Or remember they introduced those newer jackets with the little patches to show off how many followers you have? Like,
Yeah.
it was like a narcissistic or conceited jacket, you know? Like,
Yeah, it was.
they're like, you hit 1 million subs. Let me just slap that right across. I hit 1 million subs across my jumpsuit. And you know what? Call me crazy, but I still wanted one. Like I was like, man, I
Right.
really want that. That's
It's
cool.
status, right?
But they wouldn't. I wasn't big enough streamer to have one yet, so. But so much has changed. Like Amazon bought it out. It got more corporate. I don't put as much love into Twitch. Like I know they're selling their gear and stuff, but like I don't want to rep Twitch gear. It's not as much as I did back in the day. You know, I just don't feel the same about them that I did. I know a lot of people have left. I think it's gotten better. Let's say like for things that you can do. I mean, affiliation, channel points, guest star if it's working. Don't get me wrong. There's a lot of good updates. It's just been, I don't know if it's gone from a cult feel to a corporate feel for me at least.
I look back at those days when we were starting up, and there was definitely that feeling of really like community and feeling like you could find people that you really enjoyed watching or getting to know the people in that person's community through regular like chatting, but it just hasn't felt as yeah, those days are gone, I think.
They're gone.
Like you said, it I mean, corporate's kind of a good term for it. Like, it feels more corporate since Amazon has taken over. And it's interesting, right? Because from a functional level, like you said, like there's far more things that you could do here.
Sure.
With it.
And more opportunities to get money. Like we didn't get any money as there was no affiliate program, so you didn't get any money unless you were partnered. And it took a lot to get partnered, it seemed like back in the day.
Yeah.
I don't know if were they still in the 75? I don't know what they were doing, but
yeah, it was. I'm pretty sure that was 75 at the time too. It definitely seemed a lot harder. Not to say that not to say it isn't hard today, because there's so many people who still strive to get that and are trying their hardest to, myself included. Actually, I'm not trying it as hard, but you know what I mean. Like it's a difficult thing to do.
It's tough.
And yeah, like you said, I think it's definitely, there's more that you can do, and there's the potential to earn more. But I'm careful when I say there's the potential to, because the people who, like you said yourself earlier, who really make the living off of it easily are the people on the top end of the streamer ecosystem. Sure. Yeah. Definitely.
Not that I appreciate all the subs and support.
Absolutely.
I want to throw my listeners it helps the stream grow and pays. Yeah. And that leads me to another thing. Is like I do so much extra stuff that I actually pay for. Like, so just to have the Adobe Suite, you know, like I pay for that. You pay your artists, you pay your assets. I like to have unique stuff such as unique text to speech. So like all that stuff, I go the extra mile. So like, the channel does take some money to run too, so
yeah.
But I do appreciate the people who do support, not just me, but other smaller streamers.
Yeah,
who they like. If you enjoy them, tip your streamers.
Any other thoughts on like how it's changed since we've started?
Nah, and you know what? For me, what's changed, and this is kind of, I wouldn't say this is Twitch, but like I don't view it as like every day. I need to be on it every day, watching every day. for me, it's become an outlet now. Like I'm like, oh, can I sit down or can I create something? But I don't look at it as like I need to stream or I need to be watching somebody because I need to grow. Like I feel like that mentality has
Mhm.
changed in me. I don't think that's a Twitch thing, but it's changed for me. When people say streaming's, looks like so much fun, I'm like, the people who are streaming and doing it I would say it's probably a 14 to 16, 18 hour a day job, like you're not only once you're done streaming, you're watching streaming, you're interacting, because if you don't interact with somebody or meet somebody new or, make moves somehow, you're not going to grow, I guess.
How long have you been using that avatar? Like, how long has it been at this
I
point?
think it's been a year, right? Neo,
Yeah.
it's been a year. Neo's one of the longest mods of my mod team, and
Yeah, Neo was saying he hasn't seen you
he
in
hasn't seen the
about
human
a
face in a while. Yeah,
yeah, about a year.
yeah, about a year. Somebody actually had the date, and I was like, oh, okay. I'll never go back. It's too good, and I already have so many ideas for it. So
Yeah, it almost inspires me for like the non-talk show stuff to look into this, just because it would
yeah,
be
and
it'd be
what
fun.
people love Space Ghost Coast to Coast, and I would love to do something like that. I would totally love to just rip it off and do a talk show late at night
Mm, mm.
and just interview. Try to like I not even try for like just friends and stuff, but to like reach out to big stars and just interview them. Just try and be like, hey, do you want to be on this weird internet show that probably nobody will watch, but it should be funny and a good time.
Yeah. Yeah. No, you every time I'm at your channel, I'm like, gosh. It's like, am I it's like, should I do should I look into
You
this? Because
should.
yeah.
You should.
Well, I'll
It gets
definitely check it
expensive
out.
though. Everybody's
Oh yeah, I
like,
believe it.
everybody's like, oh, I want to like if you're not. Here's the other thing: if you're not somewhat creative or artistic, because I do a lot of my own animations.
Mm.
I don't like to work with my own artwork, but I do like to animate and create stuff from time to time. But like, if you don't, you're gonna shell out a lot of money to get somebody else to do it,
Yeah.
and then if you don't like rigging, people are like, "Can you help me rig?" I'm like, "Why would I help you rig?" Because if I do something and then you're like, "Oh, I want to add something," and then you have to add it.
Right. You're
Like if you learn to rig it, then you can add stuff when you want to. Like,
yeah. That would be the thing. And honestly, given how I like to do things, I would want to be able to do all that on my own.
right? Yeah,
Yeah. Because I would hate to have
you
to
should
keep
do it though. You should totally do it.
well, I'm thinking about it. I'd have to think about my cartoon persona, honestly.
Right?
So yeah,
You'd have
yeah.
to like. And then, well, I mean, and then there's 3D avatars. There's so many different options.
Mm-hmm.
I even think one of the other things. So if you want to get technical now, like one of the things I was working on was Unreal Engine and actually building a 3D area. And
Yeah.
I know people do it. I know like Code Miko does it.
Yep.
And I think my friend, the Deadpool show, I think he does it. And he does it in a unique way where he uses a camera on top of Unreal Engine.
Mm.
Like, so you actually see him. I mean, he looks like Deadpool, but you see his camera and he moves cameras or like in the Unreal Engine, like moves it around and stuff. It's wild, dude. But
That's
I
interesting.
don't know, man.
That's interesting.
Yeah.
I do work in Unreal, like for my day job.
Do you?
So yeah.
Oh. Well, then I should just hit you up to do this for me.
But yeah.
I got frustrated because I get really frustrated when I work on something for like 5 or 6 hours and then get zero results out of it. Like I understand that like the 5 hours wasn't a waste. I learned how not to do something, but like I was frustrated. So I literally uninstalled Unreal Engine. I was like, I will mess with this at another date and time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I use both that and Unity engine.
Nice. So do you build? What do you build, levels or do you build characters?
So
What do you?
I'm a game designer.
Or do you
by trade?
Okay.
So what that mean? It can mean any number of things if it's a very broad term. But for
Sure.
me, I do a lot of. It depends on the project, but I do some balancing when it comes to like level difficulty. I do some basic
Okay.
layouts. I do some scripting. So like if there's some light coding that needs to be done to make something happen, I will do that. But it's really like my particular area of game design is like user experience, gameplay feel, how things should go, and then content design. So like when we've established what something should be in a level, you'd maybe have a proper level designer go through white block the whole thing, and then I'd come through and be like, here's where enemies would go, or here's where we would put these different places for a quest to finish,
I
or
got you.
different
You're like the
triggers.
architect, moving
Right.
stuff around, and yeah. All right.
Yeah. So that's.
All right. Well,
But
if you know anybody who can design a 3D space van, let me know.
oh yeah, I figured that's where it was going.
Yeah.
Yeah, I wouldn't be the right person for that personally, but I could give you some names if needed.
All right.
So
Yeah, we'll talk.
yeah, no, that's
We'll
I think
talk.
that's wonderful.
Yeah, because currently I had so I think it's more classic and kind of cooler to do it this way. But I took a van and modeled it. Actually, what I did originally was I bought the Spaceballs Winnebago model.
Oh really?
Yeah, and I put it together and I used that and filmed it with like green screen, and that is what we were still human form, but we were in an animated background that looked like the inside of a Winnebago. So, but I wanted to get away from that. I didn't want people to be like, "Hey, that's the Spaceballs thing." So I took the model apart and bought a van, like a GMC van model, and then I pasted the jets on it.
For those that don't know, Squirrel has this cutaway where the van is flying through space, usually.
Yeah, and actually, like, so even like the side view here is that, and
yeah,
yeah, like that's the front of it. But literally, I had did this makeshift model and put like duct tape all over it, the unicorns on the side. So
I love it so much.
So it's an actual model, yeah.
I didn't know
it's
I didn't know that was an actual model that you used. I thought it was just like images or things that you had done.
right, and it looks so corny. I'll do it right now, but like the flybys,
Yeah.
they're so corny, but
no, I think it works so well though, right? Like it works.
it gives it that cheesy mystery science, old sci-fi vibe.
It's that mystery science. It's that like the stuff that I think you and I both grew up with in those shows, and
I just wheeled it. I just wheeled it away, and it's like it pulls to the right. It must have an alignment issue. I want to have shadows. Like I fake it right now. Oops, I pressed the transition button. But so like when you zoom in, like I have a shadow here, and it's cool, right? Like it's cool, and like I spent hours trying to figure out how to make the shadow not go off the seat, right? Like so it's on the seat and the seat only.
Yeah.
So like there's some kind of immersion there. Like I feel like it's a small detail, but it would be cool to have it in Unreal so it automatically generates the the shadows in the right place. I think that would be cool. It all harks back to a commercial for Cartoon Network back in the day. And that's why I strive for it. It's so stupid that like it's a small detail, but I want it, okay? That's what I want.
Yeah. I think that's one of the best things though about what you do is that you have a very clear, in my opinion, vision of what you want for this.
Yeah.
And I think that's what generally makes, especially if you're like leaning into like the character streaming or VTubing, that sort of thing. Like if you're leaning into that, having a much clearer vision of where it wants to go is so helpful, and I think makes for a successful like streamer who does this sort of thing.
Well, I mean, stuff is getting so crazy with AI that like I'm sure in 10 years I could ask AI to build me a spaceship in 3D to use for Unreal Engine.
Right.
It'll just do it.
Have you seen that stuff that's in like Photoshop beta right now?
Yes.
The generative fill.
Yes, I think I retweeted it. The video I saw was Mr. Beast, and he's looking at a plate with a fork and spoon in his hand, and that's the photo.
Yep.
And like they generated a bunch of different steaks, they generated different color forks, they put different stuff in his hand. It was crazy.
Yeah. I've seen a couple videos on it, which I'm curious to try it out myself. But I watched there was like a tutorial video by like one of the developers of it.
Okay.
And he took like a picture of like a hill and I think part of a castle, and he like zoomed out and then he'd have it fill it, and like all these background things like were just getting put in. Like
that's wild.
Like was adding like trees and things like that, and like a nicer background of like made of like further like geography in the background. You could put, he's like, if you want to put people here, we could put people here. And he was like putting people there just by typing in what he wanted.
Right. That's wild, dude.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's gonna be. I've seen video games that are doing this now. They're using AI to generate terrain or whatever. Like, so you could potentially play a game and you go to a city, or I mean, it's kind of, I guess, like No Man's Sky, but like you just like every time you play the game, it could be different. Like they could say something different, or. But I've actually been toying with some AI stuff too. I use ChatGPT for my text-to-speech bot, who is this guy.
Doya.
And yeah, Doya the Destroyer. You can talk to him and ask him anything, and he'll just respond. And he's programmed to be my co-pilot and love coffee. And he knows if he has coffee or doesn't, which, Chat can buy him coffee.
Yeah.
And like his responses have been cracking me up because it's completely random. So you're not just getting the text to speech where somebody, gives you 100 bits and types in what they want the thing to say. Now you get completely random generated answers or responses. I don't want to say thoughts because it can't think. It can't think, chat.
Yeah.
I don't know. Can it think? Is AI considered thinking? I don't know.
I don't know. I like that idea, and I was actually thinking about that with the rise of all this. I use ChatGPT as well, just as someone who's curious about this stuff. So I just play with it.
Sure.
The thought had crossed my mind. It's like, how can I implement this in an interesting way on my Twitch channel? Like
on your channel,
yeah. So, and it would have to do with asking it random questions. I like the fact that you have Doya there because that just is a nice surrogate for like.
Yeah.
Talk to Doyle, like see what he
just talk to him. Like
see what kind of weird stuff he has to say.
It's good for streamers. Sometimes you run out of stuff. One of the things that's cool, like that I've been using, is like ask chat a random question. He asks games, like he asks like people about video games, what their favorite moment is, or who their favorite character is. Just completely random, and I'm like, that's perfect,
Yeah.
Yeah, it's awesome and a little scary. But you know what? It was a natural transition because what I was doing years ago was, and this is like, I was giving certain viewers like welcome messages, and it would go straight to TTS and say, hey, so and so, more is here, like say hello to him, and he would just, it would say hello. But now I've got it in ChatGPT so anytime you come into the channel, he's going to say something unique for you.
Yeah.
Like based on the response. So like I love that it's completely random. Or if I just ask him how he's doing, he just tells me how he's doing, and it's different than, oh, I'm fine. Yeah. And like you get the same response every day. I was giving him like 3 or 4 random responses. Now we have infinite, so it's crazy.
Yeah. I like that. I think it's cool. And this is something that makes total sense if I were to think of like the ElDirtySquirrel brand, right? It's like you're
right. Yeah.
You're finding like all these new and interesting ways to use the tools at your disposal. It doesn't surprise me that you're using something like ChatGPT to like power Doya. Like I think that's just exactly what I would expect from you, and I'm so stoked about it. So I'll be in there more like talking to Doya. But
yeah, talk to Doya.
That's so good.
Leave me alone. I'm trying to play games. Talk to Doya.
When you think of these new ideas, like for you, what ends up being kind of like your pipeline for getting things new and introduced on your channel? Because I imagine you have like dozens of ideas that you're like always thinking about, and then what helps you figure out like what to do next or how to implement it and whether or not you feel like it'll be successful?
I have no rhyme or reason. I'm pretty, is it ADHD in that regard, where like, I don't know, I just come up with stuff and then I write it on these yellow notepads, and I'm so analog and old school that like I write stuff down on paper, but I also keep a book. I don't know if this is the one. I think this is a different one, but this one's got my brand on it. But like, you can see when I was coming up with the idea for the ship and stuff, and I was writing stuff down, like, and thinking of Spaceballs and how I was going to do it. It's actually pretty like nostalgic to go to the early pages, but like I just doodled everything there. So there might be ideas in there that I could still use that I just haven't gone back through.
Absolutely.
But so I write everything down, and then I get so fixated. Like my chat will tell you, they're like, he needs to fix something. There's something's broken on the ship. We need to fix it. But rather than fix it, I'll have an idea that's like at 2 a.m. or when I was in the shower and be like, holy shit, can I get ChatGPT on my channel? I'm gonna run back and try to get it working. And then so like everything got put on hold, and I was like, let me see if I can get ChatGPT working. And I got it working, and then I have to go back and still fix the stuff that's still broken. But
Yeah.
I just keep going forward, just keep adding and piling it on top. It's awful. It's not the best thing to do, I guess, but
Nah, I think
I try to stay organized. Like I love Trello.
yeah.
Have you ever used Trello? I'm sure you've used it.
Mm-hmm.
And it's such a good organizational tool, and I
Yeah.
want to stick to it, but I'll just wake up in the morning and want to work on something and get it done. Like like the Unreal Engine thing. I was like, let me download it and see if I can get it working. And I just spent 5 hours doing that, and I could have spent 5 hours fixing and optimizing stuff.
Yeah.
But
It's wherever it takes you, right? Like it's whatever feels good.
Yeah, that's the best part of streaming for me. I think a lot of people love the community and stuff, but for me, it's like I love working on that creative stuff and then watching the response once I can create it.
No rhyme or reason. I think it's just go for what sounds most interesting to you.
Yeah, I try to put some time aside. Like I write all these things that have been scratched off are like problems that were broken that I need to fix, and so I spend some time trying to fix some stuff. But most time just going down squirrel holes. Yeah.
Thinking about where you started versus where you are now with your channel and your show and what you do.
Mm-hmm.
What was the biggest thing that surprised you?
How it's tough. How tough it would be.
Yeah.
It's tough to make it as a Twitch streamer. Like I argued all the time, like, oh, it has to do with luck and it has to do with who you know and getting a big raid or getting on the front page, and like none of that stuff matters, man. You gotta I don't know what it is to make it anymore, because I know everybody's doing a lot of those different things and it doesn't keep you on top. I don't know. So I don't know, it's tough. You gotta, I mean, at this point, you gotta put out YouTubes. You gotta start interviewing crazy animated squirrels and doing a talk show. Like you gotta have a TikTok. You gotta have an Instagram. You gotta have all that, and you gotta post. And then after your stream, you gotta go back and clip something so that you have something for your. So it's like it takes a lot, man.
Yeah, dude.
It wasn't that much back in the day. I felt like there wasn't a lot of streamers, so people would just go live. And there was things that I wanted to do, like you said, the technology has changed, especially for Twitch. But there was stuff that I wanted to do back then that just wasn't possible. They didn't have an API, like Twitch didn't have an API that you could just tell you when a sub came through or something like that. It was crazy.
Right. The amount of work now to even like maintain a reasonable. I don't even know how to describe it, because it's like you said, like no matter what you do, it doesn't always even feel like that is what it would take to be successful. There's a little element of luck. It's a combination. I mean, obviously anyone who works hard will probably increase their chances of getting noticed. Sure. But even then,
you don't
even know. You don't even know for sure. So yeah. Has your vision at all for like what you wanted to do on your channel changed since you started?
Not really. There's a lot of side projects that I had that have got lost that I wanted to work on, but just time and money,
Mm-hmm.
But the vision's always been kind of the same: play games and be silly, dance and be animated. It's always been in the back of my head, like the format is like Mystery Science Theater, where I want to play games for an X amount of time, maybe a half hour, and then spend 5 minutes on the ship with like a skit or a gag or talking, whatever, and then go back. So like,
yeah. And
I've gotten a lot better with that, especially with the ads. They've kept me a little like on a good schedule, I guess, but I've kind of gotten away from that.
Yeah. Don't think we really ever got to it, but early on, what made you decide like Twitch was the thing you wanted to do, or at least try?
Yeah, so I haven't shared the story, the origin, the squirrel origin story. I actually have always admired Twitch, and you know what's silly? When I was in college, and man, if I was in college and had gotten on Twitch, I'd have like I'd be booming right now, I feel like. But I was like, I saw Twitch and was like, this is dumb. Why are people watching this? I literally said that. I was playing so much World of Warcraft, I couldn't, and I was doing PvP. People could have watched me do PvP all day.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then I just moved to Boston, and I actually got diagnosed with a brain tumor. I was 27, 28, 27. That was crazy. But after I got surgery and went through radiation stuff, I was like, I don't know what I'm gonna do. Like, I lost my job and was like, I don't know what I'm gonna do because my head was all screwed up still. And so I started streaming on Twitch with my dog. I had the new Xbox. The Xbox had just come out. The Xbox, that was the one, which I love their vision. Yeah. But they screwed that. Anyways, I had one and it had a camera on it, and I was like, oh, I'm gonna stream. And I was feeding my dog treats for follows. That's where it started. I was sitting on the couch, all laid out, and just feeding my dog for follows. And it was so old school that I had to wait till I got the email notification on my phone. I was like, oh, I got a new follower. I got the email notification. Let me feed the dog. Like, it was so monotonous.
Yeah.
But it gave me something to do as when I was recovering and trying to figure out what I wanted to do. And I started taking it a little more serious. What was happening was I was playing the new games. So, like, I distinctly remember Resident Evil coming out on Xbox, and it was new. And as long as I played the new games, the way Xbox was set up is they were showing the top 5 live streams on that page next to the game. So even if you were just going to buy it, you had to see my face. So that was pretty cool. Like, and I skyrocketed on the Xbox. Not that it didn't translate to regular normal viewers, but then I started, figuring out that you can do it on PC and have like effects and backgrounds and stuff. So that's where it all jump started. Went from there to dressing up like a squirrel to becoming a cartoon squirrel. So yeah, it's just all game. It was crazy.
That's a cool origin story though.
Yeah.
I mean it's not like many of the other ones that I hear. So the fact that you just kind of found yourself doing it, kind of given the circumstances and the situation. You're looking for something.
It worked out, and I would never quit per se. Like I always worry that my community thinks I'm gonna quit, like especially because I just got another job. But I'll never quit because I love it so much. But I understand that I'll never be 1,000 subs, having person, monthly. Like, so it's a side gig for me right now. I love it. I would never quit it. It's so much fun.
Yeah.
To do stuff live is totally different than creating something. Like a video, let's say, for instance, like you can create a video and watch it over and it's the same, but when you do it live, like every time is something different. So
yeah, you can't predict what will happen.
Yeah, you can't, or what people will say. And I'm totally surprised the way people act and what they say to you. Like, it's crazy.
Yeah,
people on the internet are wild, man.
What specifically about streaming is the thing that makes you just want to always come back to do it?
Oh, it's just getting the reactions taken off guard. So like I love that. I love doing that. When I showed people like that you could unzip me, they were like, that still has me cracking up.
Oh yeah.
And it has my friends. Like I hang out with my friends. Some of my friends watch the show and then like they were like, your chest fuzz thing, it was so funny or whatever. They're like, it's so gross but funny. I was like, cool, it's effective, it works. All right. On to the next one.
That keeps you inspired to just keep making new things.
Yeah, what can I do next? It's also a double-edged sword, I guess, right?
Right.
Because I think about like comedians and stuff that like, and I think like Robin Williams is probably the best example, but like he always felt that he had to be funny, or when people saw him, they thought he had to be funny. And that's like the other thing is like when people pop in and they're like, Squirrel, make me laugh or do something new. I'm like, I don't have anything new and I'm not that funny today. I don't know. Maybe try back tomorrow.
Yeah.
I don't know. It's tough. It's tough. I won't consider myself a comedian, but I feel like I like to make people laugh and I do what I can. But that's tough when you're like, I don't really have anything to make you laugh today. I don't know.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a lot of pressure.
What's it like to deal with that pressure when you're on stream and someone says something like that to you?
It's just, it kind of, I don't know, rolls off. It sticks in the back of my head, but it rolls off. I'm just like, I don't know. I can't always be on. And it's the other thing with streamers. You're
Yeah.
live so long. It's not like a regular show that's 30 minutes every week. You're live for like, what do we live for? Like 35 hours a week. Some of the big guys.
Oh
I'm
yeah.
live maybe like 20 hours a week. You know, so like you get plenty of me. I can't be funny all 20 hours. Let me live my life. No, it's all right. I mean, I try to be funny and try to make people laugh, and I like to have a place where people can have an escape. I think that's the biggest thing is people can come to my channel and be silly, be weird, see me be silly, be weird, whatever, get a laugh, take away from their day. I think that's the case for a lot of streams though, right? Like they want to live vicariously or have a community, you know, and just kind of get away sometimes.
That's often the case, right? People want to get on Twitch to, for lack of a better term, forget about what they're dealing with or their problems.
Sure, yeah.
But it can be, to some degree, a form of escape for some people.
And it's kind of, I mean, it's kind of what video games are for people too. A lot of times.
Mm-hmm. Exactly. Where do you foresee like your content going?
Who the hell knows? I don't know, man.
Right.
I don't know. I only know today and tomorrow. Like I know I want to get this shock collar going so people can shock me, which doesn't even make any sense because you're shocking a cartoon. It doesn't even hurt me. But I just want to do it to say that I did it and then move on. I don't know. Yeah, I'm behind on games, right? Like I haven't played Zelda yet. I plan on playing that. Diablo, I plan on playing.
Mm-hmm.
I was so excited because, well, I'll tell you where it started. They offered if you want Diablo, you know, drops.
Yep.
If you want Diablo drops, sign up here. So I signed up, and then Diablo was trending, and I clicked on it, and there were some people who were like, "Hey, I've got drops enabled, so come watch me and earn." I was like, "God damn it, how come I didn't get it?"
Yeah.
So I went and I saw the list. And I was like, "Let me check out the list and just see if I'm on it for whatever reason," because I didn't get an email or anything. They didn't tell me that I was in it. They just put me in. So I go down the list. The list is like it's 96 pages.
It's not even.
Yeah, you've seen it.
It's not. Yeah, I took a look at it. It's not even like what you would expect to be a nice curated list,
right?
That you would see on a website.
I was assuming like 30 people max.
Right. No, it's literally a copy pasted like spreadsheet.
Yeah.
Put onto like a
everybody.
PDF. Yeah.
It was like if you applied, you got it, which is fine, but like you might as well just give it to everybody at this point. Like I started scrolling and I was on like the 8th page and I was still in the A's and I was like, what the hell? But I'm on the list, so
yeah.
Yeah.
You got for the night. I went 2 pages. I was like, I'm okay, that's cool.
Yeah, like so if you're playing Diablo and want the drops, come check me out because I'll have them. But
yeah, and
I was like,
and does that mean like anyone? Like, does that mean anyone? It wasn't 100% clear to me that if you're one of those called out people, it's like you get a specific drop, but it was calling out all these other drops that you could get. Does that mean?
Oh, really?
Does that mean that anyone that's streaming Diablo, you get those ones too?
So there's like basic drops and then special drops?
Yeah,
that's what you're saying.
That's what it sounded. That's how it read to me. But it wasn't all that
dumb way to do it, isn't it?
Yeah.
Just give it to everybody. Like, yeah, I pretty much did. Right. It'd be one thing to be like, here are top 10 streamers or people that we've worked with before that we think you'll like to watch.
Right.
You know?
Right. It was weird, but you know, I'll be playing the crap out of it too. So if you need if you need any buddies to Diablo with, let me know.
All right. Yeah, me and my IRL friends were. I'm like, I'm gonna have to make like 6 characters at this point. I was like, I'll do chat. I'm gonna do one where I just play through, enjoy the story, and then I'll play with my friends offline. I'll do a different character. I don't know, man.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Did you get them out? Did you kill the world boss and get them out on the stress test?
No.
Oh, you're gonna have a.
I know. I'm gonna.
You're a bear mare.
That's
Did you hear this?
Yeah, dude.
That's so funny that they have a name for the people that won't have. And it's a lantern that goes on your horse's butt, right? Is that all it is?
Yeah, that's why. That's what I've heard. Man,
you're gonna have a bear mare.
I didn't.
And you know what? Another thing, I didn't get an email, so I don't like. I did it, but I didn't get an email that said I did it. I got the one email that said I got a companion or something for just playing.
Yeah,
but I didn't get the email for killing it, so I'm hoping they gave it to me. But we'll see.
Man, you'll find out. This might be you too.
I might have a bear mare too.
Yeah,
I should have recorded it.
I found out about it like the day before it was going on, and I had a bunch of stuff already planned for the weekend.
Yeah.
And I was like, I could feasibly maybe fit it in like before bed or something a couple times. I was like, no, I
I had
would
to
love
work
to,
that
but
weekend.
yeah.
So, and my friends were like, we're going to do it. And you know what happened? We did it. We fought the boss twice. We did it on tier 2, whatever the harder level, nightmare or whatever.
Yeah.
And we didn't beat it. And I was so mad. And I was like, I don't have any more time. I can do it one more time. I was like, I'll have to level up, or also I have to grind for some gear and do it at like 8 in the morning. But so then my friends text me while I was at work, and they're like, if you go to the early tier, it's easier. And I was like, oh. So I got up at 8, knocked it out in 20 minutes, and then went back to sleep or something. Like I was like,
Man,
I'm not gonna be one of my friends being called Bear Mare. No way.
I'll be that guy apparently. That'll be
Yeah.
this is my life now. So
I'm covering my horse's butt, dude. No way.
that's so good, dude.
It's like 4 weeks too. Like, so you have a whole week to get the drop.
Yeah.
And it's, I mean, you need 6 hours, so like it's a long time. But I was like, how can I maximize this? Can I show reruns and still let people get drops?
Oh, just like leave it up.
Yeah, just leave it up. And then this is the first time I'll be part of a drop that you have to get by gifting subs.
I saw that, yeah.
I've never been a part of that, which is crazy, but I've seen people be a part of it. Like, I saw, I think it was World of Warcraft, and it was that big World of Warcraft streamer. What's his name? Tilly just starts with a T. You know what I'm talking about?
I know who you're talking about. I can't remember the name.
Yeah. Anyways, he went from, and I guess not many people got it, but he went from like 10,000 subs to like 35,000 subs. Like, he had such a following that everybody wanted to mount or whatever.
That is crazy.
Yeah, like it exploded. So I was like, not that there aren't 5,000 people on that list, but like, I don't know, maybe it's a chance for some extra subs. Go for a sub goal. Do a sub, like just do a subathon and stay up and play Diablo and try to get that.
Yeah. I know Destiny 2 does something similar. Where
do they?
If you give subs in a channel that has the Destiny extension active,
you get a weapon or something.
Yeah, you get something cool. Like you get some cool stuff for it. Just for gifting subs. So
yeah,
like I think it's like an emblem, which is just like the in-game.
Right. And I'm never into these things. I know, and I'm never into these things, but my IRL neighbor friend is like, he's hardcore into it. And he's the one that missed out, but he's always like, he makes spreadsheets to figure out how many levels he needs to get in Overwatch to like get all the collectibles. And I was like, that's crazy, man. And he got in my head, so I was like, I need this.
You're like, I need this. Yeah.
I never need like, especially if they're cosmetics. I'm like, I never need those, but now I had to for this one. I don't know why.
Yeah. Now a lot of people get caught up in the hype. That's what it plays to, right? Is especially on Twitch, right? Twitch is really good about like, and when I say Twitch, I mean like the collective community of viewers people are like, oh, there's this drop. I'm totally gonna be here for it, you know, like, or I'm gonna do the thing to earn the thing. I'm gonna watch you for 5 hours. I'm like, okay, that's cool. Like,
cool.
I'm gonna play this game for 5 hours, and you could watch me the whole time if you want.
Well, I'm not trying to bring anybody down. There are some people at the top. Their streams are so boring. Now, I get it. There's a nut for every squirrel, right? There's like everybody's got their what they want to watch, but I'm like, it's probably why I don't even watch that much Twitch anymore. Like I try, but some of the times I tune in, I'm like, I'm bored. I'm bored. I kind of want to go play a game or something. I don't know.
Yeah.
I'm getting old, I think. I like it in the beginning of Twitch, and this is no offense to anybody. In the beginning of Twitch, I love tuning in to people, see what people are doing, especially if people are doing weird stuff. Now, I like when people are doing something different.
Yeah.
But sometimes I tune in and I'm like,
I've seen this before.
Yeah. It's a person. It's a person with a controller and a mic playing a video game.
This is
not and ignoring chat. They're not even saying hi to me. So
yeah.
So I'll just go somewhere else.
So what are some of the more memorable things that you find on Twitch that you're like, this is what it's about for me? Like, what are the things that you're like stoked about that you watch on Twitch?
I wasn't big on the VTubing. I don't like the anime girl VTubing, which I don't know why that's so popular. I mean, I know why it's so popular, but I don't know why it's so popular. But I love seeing different styles
Yeah.
of like my good friend Ouija Boo. To shout her out again, but she's a Luigi Boo or from Mario Brothers.
Yeah.
And I thought that was cool, and she does a lot of stuff with that. There's somebody else who is a VTuber, but they're in the like 50s styles cartoon.
Oh, that's cool.
It looks like Betty Boop,
Mm-hmm.
and it's so cool. And they have an overlay, like it looks like the screen is scratchy, like you were watching on a 50s television, like it's done flawlessly.
That's so cool.
Yeah, I love seeing stuff like that. I don't know. I'm trying to think what I've seen lately that I've been really into.
Things that stand out, things that aren't your typical game stream, it sounds like.
Yeah, don't get me wrong. I do have a bunch of friends who just have a camera in their game, and there's nothing
wrong with that.
They have some fun alerts, but that's
yeah.
But I'm there more so for their personality,
Right. Yeah, I hear you. Right, like there's kind of a point where if it doesn't quite capture your attention initially,
which used to drive me crazy. Like that was always what I was thinking. I was like, you have 5 seconds to get somebody's attention, right? Like you don't have long.
Mm-hmm.
And it used to make me think like you have to be on all the time because like people are stopping in left and right. You never know when somebody's gonna be like, if they're just gonna leave, they're like, this it's just a man in wearing squirrel ears, and I'm just gonna move on. You gotta shock them right at the beginning, but
yeah. What would you recommend to someone who wants to stand out more, but is not sure where to start?
Just start streaming and try to come up with something that you think will be fun, and 2 is different. It's awful.
It's always
situation is terrible.
It's always tough when you get rated, like you raid into someone's channel, but then you have to sit and watch the ad, and
you
probably miss the person's welcome, right? Where they're like, oh,
hey, the welcome and all the hype,
yeah.
They might be back into the game doing the boring shit by then,
right? Yeah, I agree with I agree with you, and I'm sure like many other people talk about that, where it's like the first thing you see on his streamer's channel is just an ad that takes over the whole thing, and then you have to wait. You have to watch it tick down with the countdown, and then it's like by then you probably as a viewer you're like, oh, maybe I'll just head on somewhere else or close tab.
I'd rather, what would sell better? The ad people should just reach out to me. I could sell the ads better than you just playing a commercial. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like if I were to, like, maybe I had an ad for Pepsi. I changed my nut logo here, put the Pepsi logo, maybe a Pepsi bandana, maybe have a Pepsi in my hand that I drink from occasionally. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah.
And that would get so much more reaction. Somebody would be like, man, I kind of want a Pepsi. Than a Pepsi, like a 30-second Pepsi ad, I think.
I would love to see like an ElDirtySquirrel like sellout stream where it's something like that, where it's like everything's just branded.
I've talked about it, taking, like NASCAR suits. That's what I was gonna do with the yellow suit, is just put ads everywhere, all patches. Up and down the arms, patches. I was like, look, if anybody wants to advertise, I'll put the patch on the thing.
And then of course
there's a little space.
The location depends, like the cost of it depends on the location.
Oh yeah, this region down here costs $100 an hour. Everything else probably 50.
Right.
No foot stuff.
But like a patch on the butt is probably fine.
Yeah, no, that's fine. I barely showed my butt, so
they
wouldn't get to see it too often. What's really funny is when I first came up with this, I was supposed to I have like a 360, like not 360, I guess 180. I have a side view that I never use.
Really?
There's a side view. Yeah.
No, I don't think I've never seen it. Have you ever even?
No,
when you say you've never used
and there's a front view.
Really?
And cards, you know how people look weird in the front view, right?
Yeah.
I can't show it off, but it's somewhere out there. I don't know what I'm holding onto it for, but there's a front view and then there's a complete side profile view of me, and I'm like, what am I
Gosh,
going to use it for?
I
I don't
feel
know.
like there's some use for that though, like a weird
I don't know.
comical
Yeah.
use for it. Like I feel like
I think in my head I was like, I need to make a whole 360 vision of myself just in case.
right.
And then it's just been sitting in storage, collecting copies. You know what though? If we ever get into Unreal Engine, it might be, might be a thing that like spirals around. Let me tell you though what is crazy. So like if you create an animation to unzip my suit, like I've done that, but if you have 360-degree views, you got to do it like 8 more times. Like you got to make 8 more animations. It gets exhausting.
Right. No, that's wonderful, dude. This is great stuff. Man, I just appreciate you taking the time to hang out with me and kind of just talk a little bit about what you do.
You're not getting sappy on me, are you? You getting sappy?
I can stop. I can
Okay.
stop.
No, it's okay. You do what you do. It's
No,
your show.
no,
I'm
man.
just here.
This is
I'm just
great.
hanging.
This is cool stuff, man. I really appreciate what you do. You have a killer show. Great
Thanks,
community.
man.
But more than anything, thank you. Thanks for hanging out with me and doing this with me because yeah. We've known known each other a long time. And so
long time.
It's cool to see
long time
how
Twitch
far
career.
you've come.
Yeah.
Way too long. Way too long.
I'm starting to get old, man. I feel old. I also think Twitch is a young man's like market, right? It's a young man and woman.
Yeah.
It's a young man and woman's game. I'm not trying to hold it or
yeah.
Dave's game. But it's like I don't think I can keep up anymore.
Yeah.
I don't attract the younger viewers. Most of my viewers are late 30s, older. Or people that have been following since the start, but I feel like...
Do you think it's because of like just the nature of like...
I don't know what it is,
the animated feel, which is ironic, right? Because you'd think younger people would be down
right.
with it, but...
Like there's a way to see your age group, isn't there? Like in the Twitch details?
I think so. I don't remember.
I know give you all the analytics too.
I know on YouTube I get those, but I can't remember if Twitch is the same.
Yeah, maybe like a stream. I think in a stream summary. You know what's crazy is you have to have so many people sometimes
before it even tells you.
Before you get certain analytics, it's kind of silly, but
yeah, YouTube does that. Discord does that too. Where it
does
if your server's like less than a certain amount of people, they just won't even.
Yeah,
they won't even give you any analytics. They're just like, there's not enough data. There's just not.
Well, that's what I'm seeing in Twitch right now. We can't seem to find any data on this VOD. But yeah, I feel like I don't ask everybody their age. I don't care, but I do feel like most people are older.
Yeah.
When there's like all these young people are tuning into Fortnite and
I was gonna say Fortnite.
Everything else.
The Fortnite streams.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. But young people don't get it either. They hop in your stream like, "Can I play?" I'm like, "No, I'm playing by myself."
Yo, that happens a lot though.
Happens all the time. Do you play Fortnite? Yeah, they don't know how to act.
I have a good friend who's a friend of the stream, Bricks O'Brien. He does like Minecraft, right?
Okay.
And so yeah, when he's rocking Minecraft, he gets a lot of the younger people. Can I play too? And there'll be times. Yeah, and there'll be times where
this mod.
Yeah, he'll be like, this is not when I usually like. It depends on the stream whether he opens it up. He's like, no, not right now, right? But it's like you do get.
I think that's why Dead by Daylight's so big. Is there so many people that play it and they want to like jump in?
Mm-hmm.
I don't know though. I don't play Dead by Daylight. I like controlling the show. I like single player games and controlling the show.
Yeah, that's very much your jam. Is like you look at like when I look at your channel, it's a lot of single player experiences.
Typically,
yeah.
I can't control what people are gonna say if I have people playing with me.
Mm-hmm.
I don't like to set rules or boundaries for anybody. Like if I'm like, hey, you can join me, but you can't talk.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know. I've also gone. Have you ever gone into those streams? And again, that's another one. There was like sometimes they'll be really popular. There'd be like 6-7 people talking over top each other. I'm like, I do not want to listen to this.
Yeah, I think that's the part.
But that's a style, right? That's a stream.
It's a whole
type.
thing. It's a whole thing.
Yeah, and that's not my thing. So
I'm kind of the same way though. Like when I view people who are doing like multi streams or they're streaming together, and like everyone's talking over everyone to the point where I'm like, I don't know, man. Like I I know it's a different vibe, it's a different style, but that's generally one where I'm like, well, that's cool. And then I'll just go watch something else or I'll close it because
yeah,
not my style. But
yeah, I'm like, I
yeah.
can't listen to this. Yeah, that's just there's different types of streams, I guess.
Yeah.
That one ain't for me.
April says it's hard to watch streams with a lot of people talking. I start to feel overwhelmed, but I'm also old.
Yeah. It might be an old thing. It might be because when you watch kids hanging out, they hang out in groups and they talk all over each other. Maybe they love that shit. I don't know. I also see people I see this a lot actually, is people that stream and have one person hanging with them, just talking.
Oh yeah, they're
Just
they're not
keeping
even
them
doing
company.
anything in the
Yeah,
game.
they're just keeping them company.
Yeah,
And that's cool too, I guess. That's just weird.
yeah, it's different. It's different than
Yeah.
what I'm used to as well. But yeah, that's the
Get
thing.
off from my swamp, you kids. Do you like Futurama?
Yeah. Squirrel, dude, thank you for hanging out with me today. This has been awesome.
Thanks for having me.
Dude.
Yeah, it'll be, I know you call it a podcast, but it's like a vodcast, right? Do you put it on like Spotify or?
It's on YouTube, Spotify, Apple Podcasts, anywhere you can get podcasts. Yeah. It's but yeah, man. I appreciate your story, dude. I admire what you do. You might have even inspired me to look into like what it might take to do like
if you have any questions, I always tell people.
Man.
I'm like, don't bother me when I'm streaming. I don't like talking about technical stuff when I'm streaming because that's not my jam.
Right.
But hit me up and I'll give you all the answers to everything. I would love anything.
I would love for you to like point me in the direction and be something that I work on like as a secondary thing that I would eventually roll out. So
there's a direction. Go that way. Go that direction. That direction.
Yeah, here, let me.
You couldn't see it, but yeah.
No, there you are.
Go that way, yeah. Go that direction. Go that way.
Where can people find you though? I want to make sure we get that out there.
You can find me anywhere, ElDirtySquirrel. There's no imitations. So twitch.tv is where I stream mostly. Twitch.tv ElDirtySquirrel. And then on top of that, I'm putting out content when I can on Instagram, TikTok, YouTube, Shorties, and Twitter. All ElDirtySquirrel.
Fantastic. As we close this down, I leave it in the control of the guest to close it out. Give any final words or thoughts to anyone who might be watching or listening to this. So it's all yours, man.
So yeah, just remember that you can go to my channel and follow, and definitely subscribe with $4.99 or use your Twitch Prime. That's right, use your Twitch. I am not a. Oh, hey guys. Do you know if you link your Amazon Prime account with your Twitch account, you can subscribe for free?
Raiden wins.
uh, uh, uh.